Brendan and Charlotte from 2before. I am so excited to have you join us today for our first CreatorChat video podcast. Excited to have you all the way from New Zealand.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. Really pleased to be here. And yeah, we're just pumped to start talking all things 2before. I can see you've got our non-caffeinated version. You've got what's essentially almost a pure blackcurrant powder sweetened with monk fruit. And Ryan, as you're pouring it into the glass, you can see like the vibrancy of that powder. You can see that
It looks like pigment. It's so beautiful.
well, you're spot on. It is pigment. It's a unique polyphenol called an anthocyanin from blackcurrants, and those are the pigments which generate the really dark, rich purple color on the outside of the blackcurrant fruit skin. And so it's really simple. You've just cut your individual sachet, poured it into a glass, and just adding water. I can see you taking it.
I mean, it would be great with a vodka, but yes, you're right. Water.
Well, as a pre-workout, we don't recommend adding it with alcohol, but certainly if you're in the weekend looking to add some recovery to your afternoon beverage, then go straight
Genuinely.
ahead.
It's super, super easy, but there's just something so sharp and refreshing about it. I know that you're going to talk us through the superpowers of the blackcurrant, but the flavor alone will have anyone jumping out of bed. It's just so refreshing. So Brendan, give us the 411. Tell us where you came from, what your interest in the space was, and excited to learn more.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. So I came from a family which had orchards and farms, and New Zealand's very much a primary industry, so growing and selling overseas. And so I've always grown up in this space, very passionate about New Zealand products being successful overseas. Having spent some time overseas, I realised we weren't doing it that well. Blackcurrants have actually been researched for 15 plus years through a lot of government funding through plant food research, and the lead scientist is Roger Hurst. So he was testing all these different berries, and New Zealand blackcurrants just keep popping up as the best responder to improving recovery, immunity benefits, and performance. But the idea was, how do we take it to the US? Because no one in the US really knows anything about blackcurrants. It's not a flavor that's common. And so we actually worked with UCLA, and we did a project for 6 months. 5 of the MBAs there helped us formulate a bit of a strategy and a plan. And basically their feedback was that sports nutrition was where we should be focusing, and specifically talking about the performance and recovery benefits of New Zealand blackcurrants. So that started, I guess, the work to create a brand, and ultimately to where we are today.
So wonderful. I mean, it's kind of all these things that sit on your doorstep, right? And you think, like, you walk past it every day. You probably were going through the orchards as a child and just thinking, oh gosh, another blackcurrant. But it really takes that entrepreneurial kind of gaze to really see the opportunity. And before we kind of dive into kind of what that R&D looked like, Charlotte, I'd love to hear your background. Once again, really, really geared for this space. I'd love to hear a little bit about your background.
My background didn't start in marketing. It was actually somewhere that I just kind of landed over the series of my career so far. And I actually started in primary industry, working as an environmental planner and forester for a large New Zealand forestry company. So I studied forestry science. I have a background in science, and I have this innate love of nature and natural. Now, at the same time, throughout my studies, I was also rowing for the university. And then I continued my sporting into multi-sport events, marathons, half marathons. I've always had a big love for sport. And I think that it's, really serendipitous that I'm now landing in this space of natural combined with the combination of primary industry and sports. But along my career journey, I've been really lucky to have landed with some incredibly supportive New Zealand businesses. And that time as an environmental forester and planner really set me up for, I guess, big opportunities in extending different areas of skills to lead me in what I think is a natural place for me to really flex my creativity. And I think that's like the biggest benefit and draw card of working with 2before is that ability to be creative, and to be creative quickly. And it's been one of the best decisions I've made.
What drew you as founders and kind of entrepreneurs and innovators to really look at a black currant in a different way?
For me, it was science. So we've got the historical use. So it was used in World War II as a supplement for vitamin C and for eye health for fighter pilots. But it's also got the recent science. So the work that Roger did showed that how it worked, and really showed that there was significant multiple benefits to the product, which has been a little bit of our problem, because as well as triggering performance, so vasodilation or blood flow improvement, it also helps with managing what's called oxidative stress after exercise, which helps recovery. But there's also this immunity benefit that is actually one of the best things about the product. It does have naturally occurring vitamin C, but actually it's the pigments we talked about earlier, the anthocyanins, that actually support our innate immune system. So it just actually supports you every day. And it's even better when you exercise. So when you exercise, your immunity goes down. This actually supports you to maintain your immunity even while exercising. So you take it before exercise, and it takes about half an hour to absorb, which is actually the same time frame as caffeine.
Where does it sit in terms of caffeine levels? Talk me through that.
So it's about a cup of coffee. But again, research has shown that your cup of coffee could give you 60 milligrams of caffeine or 220. So the performance dose for elite athletes is 240 milligrams. So 2 cups of coffee. We've halved that to give you a dose that we think is a perfect training dose. So it's an everyday type dose.
I think one thing you've been very smart around is, understanding that your early adopters are professional. There's no messing around here. It really needs a tried and true, basis and research and technology to really make people comfortable with trying something, because these are people who are so rigorous and so strict. Like, to go rogue on a new product must have been a big challenge. So Charlotte, talk to me about how we overcome that.
Our go-to-market strategy in the US with 2before was always to start with sports dietitians, because sports dietitians, they understand the science behind it. They're always food first focused, and their jobs are to optimize the athlete's nutrition to help them perform at their absolute peak. So this year in May, Brendan and I traveled to Arizona, and we spent 3 days with US-based professional and university and military dietitians. And we were able to have these one-on-one conversations with them about our research, about our product, and we were also able to share our product with them so that they could take back and try them with their athletes. That's a channel that we continue to nurture through building like one-on-one relationships with those individuals, and that channel is growing for us at a really steady rate, and we're really excited about that channel. When it comes to marketing any brand, it's about positioning yourself as a trusted brand within that category space, and that's what's so important to us.
But Brendan, it wasn't always easy, surely. I mean, like, you don't just kind of crunch up a few berries, grind them down, and then ship them off to the US. What was were there any moments in your development of the company that were kind of almost roadblocks, and how did you overcome?
We were available on our website in the US on March 24th, 2020. And I remember that date because we went into lockdown and New York went into lockdown. And overnight, sort of our strategy to focus on college and professional teams shut down. So the college programs went home, the training camps went home. So this is kind of our second go at it. We have made improvements since then. So the original product was in a tub. So now we are in individual packets, and you saw them before. And what that does is protects the product better, but it also is actually, we're getting a lot of great feedback around how convenient it is for travel. it's a portion size. You know how messy those pre-workouts can be generally. So we think we've come back with an even better product. So we now have the 2 products. So we've added the caffeine version, which for me was transformational. Yeah, for me, I just love the product. I think we just want to share it with other people, and that's, I guess, what we're probably struggling with is how to get it out to as many people to try it as possible. But one thing we have done is we've got a new sample trial pack. So we wanted to reduce the trial price point. So we had the 20 pack, which retails for 50 US, but this is a 3-pack that retails for $9. And to be honest, we want to get that trial pack in front of as many people as possible, because once you try the product, that's when we'll develop our customer base.
I think people didn't know there was an alternative, right? I mean, it's like it's pre-workout, pumped up. It always tastes like some kind of odd chemical explosion. So they didn't know that there was an alternative. So now, thanks to 2before, it's out there, it's available. So what we're going to do now is pop up the CreatorChat QR code, which anyone who's viewing, including most of my family, can scan it and then drive straight to purchase and get a trial pack or a full pack of 2before. Brendan, just in terms of closing remarks, where do you want this company to be? Like, what does success look like for you? And don't say the $1 billion effort. We all know that's on your mind, but really tell me, what does success look like for you as the founder of 2before?
Well, there's 2 parts to it. One is that we are able to tell the world about this amazing product. So that's probably the first. But also, we believe this is a better product that people should be taking than, say, energy drinks. So people fall out of the energy drink category as they get older, past 18, because it's just too synthetic. So what we're giving you here is that that product that you can be taking, that one gives you that energy, but it's also a health supplement. So it's a massive benefit for you, and I take it every day, 5 days while training and a couple without the caffeine during the weekends. But it's just one of those products that will improve your immunity. It'll improve your health.
Well, I have to say your first 6 months in market has been explosive. Congratulations. Determination by the power of blackcurrant is clearly working. But yeah, thank you so much for chatting with us today. We love working with you, and very excited to keep scaling up 2before with no holding back in 2023.